Started off, I printed the Xbox sign on a piece of A4 paper, sprayed the back of it with spray glue and just stuck it onto some 9mm plywood. This is going to be for my template. Just drilling a hole now in the Xbox symbol. Now I'm just cutting that out now on the scroll saw. And use anything for cut this out if you want. This template ideally needs to be, I'd say, a couple of millimeters bigger than what the actual end result you need. It'll come clear in a minute. That's that done. Just placing that now on a piece of 18mm MDF. Ideally I could have done with a thinner piece of MDF, but I didn't have any, so I thought I'd just use this. Just screwing that down now to the MDF. Now with my router now, I've got a collar what fits around the router bit, and basically that'll ride around the template then cut out inside of it. So I'm just setting the depth now for taking account of the 9mm plywood and how deep I want to go into the MDF. I've done a little bit of a diagram there to show you. So your collar will follow whatever template you've just done and give you a perfect match basically, but a couple of millimeters smaller than your template for taking account of your collar. And you can reuse this over and over again. Once you get that template right and spend a bit of time on it, you can use that over again. See what I mean there? It's probably a bit more than 2mm to be fair. So I'm just going around all that template now. It is a bit hard to record this. And that's that done there. And you could repeat this over and over and get the same result every time. Just giving it a quick sand on top. Just blowing all the dust off. Just cutting it out now, just decided just do a square. I was originally going to do it round, but just did a square on this one. Just find it easier, cut it out after. Is that done? It is a bit thick really, but I didn't have any thinner wood. Just going round it now on the router. I actually did it but I forgot to record, so I'm just basically just going over the steps what I did. So with a rounding over bit that is. Is that done? Just giving it a quick sand now, the electric sander. Just spraying it now with some black spray. You can do this with a primer, a paint, but with this method you basically just wipe it off and it sort of soaks in. Gives it a nice effect really, plus it's quick, it's instantly dried. You haven't got to wait for primer, dry, paint dry, etc. then sand it, but it does a quite good effect really. Just checking no dust on there. Right, this is the first time I used this epoxy resin really, and didn't go to plan, but I'll show you anyway. You mix two parts to one basically, and you do it by weight. This is your 2 parts, and this is your 1 part. So if your first part's 40 grams, that'd be 20 grams, etc. Just give it a good mix now. I ordered this different colour paint set, and this is the green because I wanted the Xbox to be green. So I'm just giving that a mix there. Just add a bit more to make it a bit more darker. And the colours are absolutely turned out perfect. Just adding it into the Xbox now. And I think with the background being black, I lost all the green. Basically, it just disappeared into the X. So I think the base needed to be white on this. But I thought I'll show it anyway. And I didn't want to sand the top, so that's why I'm taking my time filling the X. Because you can fill it, then you can sand it all over different grades of sandpaper, but I didn't want to do that on this. Just taking my time there so I don't go over the edge. See, the green was absolutely perfect, but it just sort of got lost in there and it lost its greenness. But it's okay for a first attempt, really. Just moving it now with a lollipop stick. Absolutely superb stuff this epoxy resin is. Takes a good couple of days to dry fully, but it's brilliant. Just topping it up there. Yeah, I think if that was white underneath it'd look a hell of a lot better, that would. Just finishing off with a stick again, just the end really where it couldn't get in. Excuse me voice, I feel all bunged up today, so that's pretty much done really. So what I'm doing now with some white paint, I'm just trying to get the white sort of highlight in the centre. It worked out okay, it wasn't brilliant, but it did give a nice effect, but it wasn't the effect I was after, but it was okay. But anything like this, it's all learning, so you've got to try things to make mistakes and learn, etc. So you can move it and play about with it because you do have your ages before you can mess with it. And depending on your temperature of your room where you're drying it. So I'm just playing about with it there, I'm just trying to get that highlight effect in the centre. It wasn't too bad. And that's all done there. I just decided to put a soft backing on. Just got this green felt. So just cut a small piece, just putting some super glue on. Just saves it scratching your desk or your table, wherever you put it. Just covering it with super glue. And just gluing it to the base. And that's it. And that's it, and that's all done. Like I say, it wasn't perfect, but pleased with the result really, but it wasn't what I was after. But so I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, please ask, I'll gladly answer them, and like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.